As clinical trials continue in hopes of having a COVID-19 vaccine ready by early next year, recruiting enough people of color to take part has become a challenge. Cronkite News reporter Harry Croton found out about what this means for Arizona. Harry?
COVID-19 has hit communities of color especially hard. Available national data shows more than 50% of cases are in Hispanics, African Americans, Native Americans, and Asians, but trials for a vaccine do not yet reflect that diversity.
While research appears to be moving well ahead of schedule, recent COVID-19 vaccine trial metrics suggest we may actually be behind. Moderna, a biotech company that has developed a vaccine, reports that 28% of its test participants so far are non-white, even though people of color make up around 40% of the country's adult population.
Having a diverse representation actually ensures that we're going to get the best results, both in terms of effectiveness and safety.
Groups like the Alliance of Multicultural Physicians have been urging the Food and Drug Administration to make diversity in these trials a greater priority. For Arizona, that's especially important, as more than a third of the state is made up of non-white residents.
It's really important that you're not just testing in a homogeneous population, because vaccines can act differently in different age groups and different so-called races and different ethnicities.
The state is home to 4 vaccine trial sites in Phoenix, Tucson, Peoria, and Chandler. The location of these facilities in larger urban areas creates concern over reaching residents of more rural communities. Dr. Francisco Moreno at the University of Arizona says this could lead to a big disparity in results.
You have to work in a good balance to make sure that you have good representation from the community, good faith efforts to make sure that you are creating an environment that makes it so people have a legitimate opportunity to participate in an equal footing as other folks.
Moreno also emphasizes the importance of cultural and linguistic inclusion at these trial sites to better connect with underserved communities. He says establishing trust between researcher and participant is key.
It's like, why should I get a vaccine? That was my first reaction when they told me, it was like, you want to participate. I was like, is it just like answering questions? And I'm like, sure. But then once you say, will you get the shot? I'm like, whoa.
The issue of trust is evident not only in the need for cultural inclusion, but also through examples from the past. Some have cited government experiments, such as the Tuskegee syphilis trials of the mid-1900s, where health experts unethically observed the effects of untreated syphilis in black men.
There's also a number of other social issues that are going on that perhaps are not as uniquely affecting medicine, but also affect the trust that members of these communities will have in the authorities.
More than a dozen COVID-19 vaccines have successfully entered the Phase 3 stage of testing, and Arizona hopes to include at least 30,000 test participants in its portion of the national total.
Hope Research Institute and Quality of Life Medical and Research Center, the organizations conducting test trials in the Valley, could not be reached for comment. You can visit their websites for more information about signing up to participate. In the studio, Harry Croton, Cronkite News.